When the people of Israel first left Egypt, God made it very clear to them where they were going. They were going to the promised land, to the land flowing with milk and honey, the place where their forefathers came from, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But he did not take them straight from Egypt to the promised land. In fact, he took them on a intentionally circuitous route. One of the reasons for that was because he knew that if they encountered war, if they encountered enemies on the way, they would become frightened and want to return to Egypt. In addition to that, he didn't want to just take them straight to the promised land. He wanted to teach them his ways so that they would know how they are to live once they reach the promised land. So he stopped at a mountain, gave them his law, and they spent a whole year just there. I think my habit in the Christian life is I've identified point A and I've identified point B, and I make a beeline for the finish line and get there as fast as I can. I wake up in the morning, I look at the road ahead, I see this is where I want to stop for lunch, these are the obstacles I'm going to have to overcome, that's a good place to camp tonight, this is today's plan. When in reality, I shouldn't be looking at the road ahead, I should be looking at God. When the people of Israel would get up in the morning, they didn't look at the road ahead to find out where they were headed or how far they were planning to get. They would look at the tabernacle, because over the tabernacle was the very real, very visible presence of God. During the day, it looked like a pillar of cloud, and at night, it looked like a pillar of fire. And whenever the pillar would move, they would move. And whenever the pillar would stay, they would stay. And I love this verse in Numbers 9, 22 and 23. Whether it was 2 days or a month or a year that the cloud lingered over the tabernacle, staying above it, the sons of Israel remained camped and did not set out. But when it was lifted, they did set out. At the command of the Lord they camped, and at the command of the Lord they set out. That, I think, is what I forget. That it is just as much obedience to the Lord to wait as it is obedience to the Lord to follow. If God is not moving forward, then I am to wait. My plea to you is, do not get so caught up in serving the Lord, in studying the Lord, even in following the Lord, that you forget to know the Lord, that you forget to be still and know that He is God. It is just as much obedience to wait as it is to move. And if the cloud has not set out, if the glory of the Lord is encamped, then whether it is 2 days or a month or a year, please remain in camp. Do not have your sights so set on the finish line that you miss the person who walks with you. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day, for this morning, for this reminder to set aside the to-do list for a moment, to stop thinking about the plans for a moment and remember the one who has every moment of every day planned already. To remember the one who will be the one to do it, whether I'm up to the task or not. I pray that you would teach us to be still and know that you are God before we ever set out, so that when you move, we are ready to move, strong in the confidence of knowing who you are, of knowing your plan, of knowing your purpose, of knowing what you want from me today, whether it is to move or to stay. I pray that we would be delighted to obey and to be where you are. In your name I pray. Amen.